All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is hopefully the end of the legendary Powercreep arc in Gacha Gaming, where way back in the day, Mr. Pokke made one of the most inflammatory tweets we've ever seen in the business. HSR has a power creep problem only if you allow it to happen, either by greed or stupidity. And there's been a lot of calls, a lot of conversations. Mr. Pokke had like a bit of like a 1v4 situation going on where he talked to Captain Cabinets, he talked to Connor's Thoughts, he talked to VXB Fiction and Ethan, and we weren't really able to get to the bottom of whether or not he's changed his mind, whether or not he's actually wrong about this. The conversation continued over with Tectone. My react to that is also up as well, and I honestly was of the opinion that Pokke was laying down a lot of bad information and a lot of bad reasoning and a lot of bad comparisons that weren't really expanded on further by Tectone and not really like dug into. There were a couple of things that he caught him on, but there was like so much out there that was just honestly nonsensical in the first place to talk about, and it did feel like, in my opinion, Pokke was basically getting away with like grand larceny in that call with a lot of the things that he was saying. And you can see the YouTube comment section for that video as well was really like diving into what Pokke was getting away with. It's crazy how Pokke still won't admit things, still puts the blame on others for not understanding his actual point. Can't believe EO already got power creeped on his bad takes. Mr. Pokke is coming from a biased and privileged position. Do you think HSR is going in a good direction? Pokke is a pay-to-win player. Ahaha, yeah! I guess I'm ignorant and privileged, so obviously, right, every single person in this comment section, everything that's upvoted here, the top comments are all basically just being like, yeah, he's not making very much sense. He's very disagreeable. The way to not get fucked by power creep is to not play the game. You were way too soft on him. Guys, yeah, this is every single comment in here. So this is the thing. Pokke's been saying a lot of wild shit, basically. A lot of wild shit, and it doesn't seem like he's kind of being held accountable to any of the things that he's saying. And so hopefully, Gacha Smack will. Smack Daddy King. The Gacha Smackdown main event. It's here. And let's go ahead, let's give it a listen, and let's see how this situation has developed. Hopefully, it's reached its conclusion.
Yo, hello?
Genuinely, respectfully.
Bro, you are gonna be the last person I call, because I'm about to... Tomorrow onwards, it will be like a wrap up, and then like you're the last man left. I already called Tectone on.
Pokke's just straight up saying it. This is the last time I think he's gonna talk about this, and then he's gonna wrap it up later.
The first thing is basically, do you feel like power creep and problems with power creep, they are like two different things?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, let's just think of a quick example off the top of my head. ARPGs, Diablo 3. Power creep is literally baked into their seasonal system. And it's a way to like refresh the enjoyment of the season and the game that you're playing. Because if they didn't power creep, then people just wouldn't come. They wouldn't come back next season. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
That's
but,
power creep that's not problematic.
How about like gacha games though?
Yeah, so with gacha games,
so yeah, that's a good example.
The biggest
Power
fundamental
creep
problem,
making
and
the
by
game
way,
more
this is
fresh.
outside of greed and stupidity, is the character they monetize their power creep. And so you spend your money inside of a gacha game, boom, to get this character or to get this team, which is even more expensive, more resource acquisition required. And then they power creep the team later. Fuck me. My notifications are going off, and Grandpa Smack don't even know how to turn these motherfuckers off, Pokke.
Yeah, take your time. Right? Yeah. I can't hear anything though. Yeah.
So basically, like, it's resource acquisition is being spent on the teams, and so once you commit to that purchase, then they can power creep again, and now the purchases that you made were pretty much like just stepped on, and so now we're doing this all over again, and it's a perpetual process.
True.
It's essentially the injection of monetization inside of the characters, whereas in another game, like, I don't know, we can just, again, Diablo or Path of Exile or Elden Ring, if you pick up a weapon and that weapon's stronger than the weapon you used before, well, you just pick the weapon up and you use that instead. But if it was a gacha game, that's going to cost you a resource that you can only get by doing our events or by spending money. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the problem. It's the monetization of it that makes it problematic. And then we use benchmarks of other games to say, well, this is something that just doesn't exist in other games.
Okay, I think for myself, I would specifically talk about like Honkai Star Rail, because that's like the I do feel that maybe you might have misunderstood me, because I think it sounds like, okay, a lot of people think it sounds like I am blaming players for power creep, especially power creep's existence.
I mean, let's be fair here. That's what it looks like from your tweet. That's 1,000,000% what it looks like from this tweet. 1,000 million bazillion percent. That's what it looks like from this tweet. And so I'm not sure. I already don't like the framing that Mr. Pokey's going in with, where he says, I think you don't understand. He said Smack doesn't understand or didn't get the message. And the thing is, no, you said the message incorrectly, first and foremost. So I wouldn't say that anybody's wrong for their interpretation of this. You should have probably led with, Mr. Pokey, I fucked up when saying this message, because that's 9,000,000% what happened. You fucked up when conveying this message if you weren't actually intending on blaming the players. You completely fucked it up.
It sounds like I am blaming players, despite that it's the devs who keep releasing the new units, which is not the case. I am blaming the players specifically with the problems that power creep brings about to their accounts. So, like, for example, my tweet, right? I think there's also been a lot of sentiment saying that I misworded my tweet, or like I misconstructed my tweet. I should have phrased it better. I think that would have been the case, but I also feel that people probably misread it and they just didn't read the A and problem. So my original tweet was HSR has a power creep problem only if allowed to happen, either by greed or stupidity. Changed my mind. I think most people read it as HSR has power creep. So they remove and problem. So it sounds like HSR has power creep only if you allow it to happen.
Yeah.
I think that might have been the case. So it's not really that I miswrote. I think people just might be both parties, but I think that probably also happens as well, because a lot of people are saying that I am blaming players for power creep's existence, which is definitely not what I'm doing. And in fact, I made a second video like really going through like how power creep really works in Honkai Star Rail. But it's 50+ minutes, but I don't expect you to watch it. But
no, it's okay.
Yeah.
I think,
yeah.
I think these guys are going off over here. Holy fuck, bro. You motherfuckers better stop with this shit. All right, hey, save the donations for another time, chat. What the fuck? All right, anyways, man, Pokey, I think that, first of all, I strongly fucking disagree. I think your tweet, the biggest problem with it is there's zero accountability placed on the devs in that tweet. The devs are nowhere to be found in that tweet.
Okay, first bit that we already gave the context on this bit over here, right? And then Smack immediately goes in on it. I like this so far. I like it so far.
Only pointing the finger at the community. So, and then when we talk to you, Poke, you straight up admit it, right? Like you say, oh, look, this is what I mean. Once you give the substance with your word of mouth, well, now we have that context, but there's that context is nowhere to be found in that tweet. So people are going to interpret that with what you wrote out, which I got it right here. I've explained this. You watched my reaction to your video already, but HSR has a power creep problem. The only if now excludes every other problem outside of the greed and stupidity, right? That excludes everything else. And this is also a blanket statement. So what it means is anybody who takes issue with power creep, let's say me, I take issue with power creep in HSR. I have to go straight into the greed and stupidity category, because by your definition, there's no other reason to take issue with power creep. Does that make sense?
Yes. Because like the players feel that there are a lot more than just greed and stupidity that are making this a issue for players. And one of the issues is, the speed of banners and everything. So they feel that it's not solely because of the players. So they are upset that I didn't put more responsibility to the company.
Correct.
I would say though, my rebuttal for this is the tweet itself. I intentionally wanted this to address strictly to the players.
Right.
Because if I were to phrase it like HSR has a power creep problem, and then this is caused by the devs, it would be like addressing both the devs plus the players. But the thing is, I do feel that power creep's existence, that is purely on the devs. So it's kind of like two different things. It's kind of like me addressing a gambler with a gambling addiction. I think they have a problem, but I just didn't explain why the casino themselves are predatory. I feel like this is the best analogy. Yeah, so I didn't explain why the casino is bad. So I didn't explain why the Honkai Star Rail is bad. But I only said, okay, these gamblers have a gambling problem. So that's why that's basically how it went. And I do feel that I wanted to do this specifically because I didn't want to bring up the company, because I feel that
So basically what Poke's getting into is the whole comparison of bringing up the company's role in power creep, bringing up Hoyo's role in power creep would be akin to talking about how casinos are like the root cause of the problem, and then gambling is the issue, right? And now he's focusing more on like the behavioral side of the gambling, or basically like the pulling part in the whole power creep situation. That's what I believe he's saying he's trying to frame it as.
This is the case where I push the responsibility between both players and the company. There will be less self-awareness for players to realize that they do have a certain degree of responsibility when it comes to the issue they have with power creep. And from so far, I still think that majority of whether or not these problems occur to the player's account, so far, I wouldn't say everyone because I need to stop using blanket statements. A lot of it is caused by greed and stupidity.
Don't disagree.
Because from what I've seen is they keep chasing the brand new DPS, they keep chasing the brand new units, but in reality, they don't really need it.
Yeah.
It's like they are being tempted by these, the tempted of FOMO and all these FOMO. Who caused these FOMO is definitely because of the company. But at the end of the day, it is still up to the players that, they went for it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's the devs' fault for creating FOMOs, but players are stupid and greedy for acting on that FOMO.
And if you would have said majority, you wouldn't have me over here saying, hold up.
Yeah.
And I agree. That's why I said it when I was reacting to you. Oh my God, dude. Fuck me, bro. This is my ADHD's going crazy. You fuckers don't. Where's this donations when I'm not having a 1v1 chat? What the fuck, bro? All right. Anyways, man. They're going off, Pokke. I'm serious. It keeps ringing.
That's good shit, bro. That's good shit. Yeah.
But basically, like the majority of people that play gacha games are also the target audience, right? It's the company basically saying, we're going to target the otaku. And as we all know, the otaku is the introverted guy with no confidence who doesn't go outside. That's the person they're preying upon. And so that's usually the greed and stupidity part applies to that audience. But I remember telling you that a smart and wise man could also find power creep problematic because what's occurring is their business model is designed to punish the smart and wise. If you're smart and wise, that means you have to miss out on a patch of pulling on those particular characters that they're taking the in-game cadence towards to them because you're smart and wise. You can't have every single character. So now you're going to experience a decline in your experience. That experience being the team that you invested in doesn't feel right with that format. Oh, I cleared this shit, but it felt like ass. It felt out of place. That's a decline in your experience. That's a decline in your fun. The events that suck balls, but you have to do them because those events are tied to the resources of the character you pull on. I have to commit to that. Even though I'm smart and wise, I need those resources because they monetize this game. So I'm going to have a decline in my experience. Even though I don't want to play that, I have to do that as well. Even a smart and wise man is going to say, power creep is a fucking problem in this game because I have to suffer through patches because that's by design for the company to make me feel that so that I pull on the characters. That is another power creep problem exclusive that's outside of the greed and stupidity part. Would you say that's a fair take or would you disagree?
I think it's fair. It's definitely fair that even if you are smart and wise, you will still feel the FOMO. You will still feel, okay, my units are gonna not perform as much, and they would also be tempted to pull for the brand new units. So this is a problem. This is a feeling shared by everyone. Yeah, this is a feeling shared by everyone. But I would say this feeling, okay, maybe I just think of it a little bit differently because I feel like feeling worse is not necessarily a problem. I think it's only, or at least how I view it, I think it's only a problem when a player's account is like quote unquote bricked. Like they couldn't clear all of the endgame content, their team sucks and all that kind of stuff. And I think they use power creep as an excuse to always chase for the latest unit that makes their team perform the best.
That's true too.
Because that's how they monetize all of the new DPS. They always make a end game with the enemy with the right element as well as the buffs to make every single one of these DPS perform better compared to the other DPSs. So because they keep chasing this, there's basically two ways, right? There's two ways to feel good about playing Honkai Star Rail. You either chase the latest DPS or you make your old team stronger. So what I've noticed is that these smart players, even though they might not feel as good that they didn't pull for the new DPS, they will probably still find ways to make the units that they didn't pull for try to match up.
If my E0 Jingliu team with E0 supports can't clear, that's my problem. With their best in slot supports, but they all just happen to be at E0, and so what I should have done was gotten people to E2 and gotten their light cones as well. And the fact that I didn't do that, and I'm complaining about clearing and power creep is a problem for me there, that makes me greedy and stupid for not E2ing a character.
Yeah. And I think they will also come to understand that it's okay that the units that they have last time is not gonna be performing as good as units now because you're not spending any jades, right? You're not spending any pools. For the players that are pooling for the new unit, they are literally spending like what 80, 90, 100 pools just for the sake of feeling good.
Well, that's the thing. In pretty much most gacha games with an endgame, you know, a non-competitive gacha game, right, where you don't compete against other players, and the endgame is quite literally just AI. Think Genshin Impact, think Zenless Zone Zero, think Honkai Star Rail, and think Wuthering Waves, right? The end game is literally just AI. It's just AI. There's nobody you're competing with over here. And so the idea that you need to continually spend to suddenly just beat AI content is insane. It's actually insane that you need to be continually spending to beat AI content. And I think Pokke's trying to say it's okay, and that if you're not continually pulling on banners, it's like your fault. Oh my god.
So the flip side is they get to save all these pools as their reward.
Oh god.
So I think I think it's smart. Yeah.
I want to give you a quick little analogy though to reference to that part where you're like, it's fine if they don't get the strongest team. They play with the B team instead of the S team or whatever. Let's say you bought that. You have the Shure SM7B, right, Pokke, over there?
Yeah.
You bought that to increase the quality of your communication to your audience, right?
Absolutely.
And it cost you a pretty penny. Now, before you bought it, you did your research and you came to the discovery that that was the best market product that they had to offer.
I feel like I know where I'm going with this, but keep going.
So
Yeah.
So you purchased that bad boy, and now your communication is like peak to your audience. But then 1 month later, the Shure 8M7B comes out. And the 8M7B is enabling you to communicate in 7 different languages, and it's outside your return policy. So
I can suddenly speak 7 languages.
Yeah. So now you're able to capture a much larger audience with that 8SM7B or whatever you want to call it. Let me finish this. And so you go to buy that, and then 1 month later, the 3000 comes out, and the 3000 has a frequency to where when you speak inside that frequency, it throws you to the top of the algorithm. And they're all the same price point, by the way, and they're 1 month apart. And they didn't actually give you a roadmap on that. So now you spend 1,000 more, and that one's actually going to increase your business. You're going to grow in the business that you run if you buy the 3,000. Right. Pretty much what people experience in HSR. They're like every fucking time they keep.
And it's only an HSR too. It's quite literally like only an HSR. Even Genshin has better power creep management. It's like there's always something really weird in each Hoyo game that just makes it unbelievably shitty. There's always just at least something. In Genshin, it's the exploration feeling like shit, but they don't really have a power creep problem. In HSR, it's a power creep problem. And in ZZZ, fuck it, it's a power creep problem too.
Dropping better tools. Go ahead though, if you want to respond to that.
Nah, I know exactly what this analogy means. That every single time they release something better, and like, especially in a short time frame, you will always be tempted to get that thing. But I think this analogy is crazy. I think a better analogy is more like, do you use?
Why is it crazy? Let's give no reasons for why it's crazy, and then let's go into our own analogy and say that one's better. Oh, why is Smack's analogy wrong? Why is it crazy? Can we explain why it's crazy first before just moving on to something else and pivoting the discussion?
iPhone or Samsung? Or
I use iPhone.
Okay, right. For example, right now I have like an iPhone 15. If next year they release iPhone 16 or 17 or 18, I would know that my iPhone 15 is still fine.
Right.
Like even those 16, 17, and 18, yeah, they're still good. I wouldn't get it. I feel like that's more of a actual representative for Honkai Star Rail.
No, Pokke. You wanna know what an accurate representation of Honkai Star Rail using the phones is? It's if your iPhone 15 was working, all the apps worked on it, then the iPhone 16 came out, and now your iPhone 15 can't even run iMessage anymore. It crashes. While trying to run iMessage, it crashes when trying to run any app. That is what the comparison is. So this is a bad analogy. Because guess what? Think of Jing Liu as the iPhone 15. iPhone 16 came out, and now my Jing Liu can't fucking do anything. And your phone, again, is gonna crash when just running basic programs. It's just, why use such a disingenuous comparison here? I don't get it. No, it's not the same as the phones, because that would imply that like these Jing Lius, these blades can all do the same exact things that the new DPSs can, and they just literally cannot because they suck balls now. And think about it this way. The iPhone 16, the situation here, it comes with new technology, new processor, new whatever, right? New optimizations that the 15 doesn't have, and now all of the apps, all of the software, all the systems, the ecosystem, it only works with the 16's optimizations. That would be an equivalent analogy. And so the one Pokke's using over here, the one that he just pivoted to for fun without even addressing smacks, it's just fucking wrong. It's just completely wrong. And so this is why I said, why is Pokke just calling it crazy and then pivoting the topic? It's because he wanted to introduce an analogy that's just fucking wrong.
Especially for the end game, because basically it's just Memory of Chaos and getting 3 stars.
Real
so it's
quick.
not like yeah.
I just want to say, Acheron making the simulated universe faster, that's not an iPhone upgrade. That is a actual upgrade. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Like,
that is
use
a
calculator.
that is
Acheron
a
just
very,
do it.
very specific example. Yeah.
It would be the same thing with Mavuika fucking flying around. Like, that is an upgrade because you get to fly
Right.
around in Genshin Impact. But I you know what,
Right,
Pokke?
right.
I'm not. This is not a. I'm trying to one up you. You're right though. There's to support what you just rebutted to me. A lot of the times it is just an iPhone upgrade. You're absolutely right.
Oh, come on, man. Oh, man. Oh, we're letting him get away with fucking murder here. This is what I mean by this literally being content creator terrorism. That's why I said it was content creator terrorism on the call yesterday, and it's literally just continuing today. It's literally just continuing today. You guys are letting him get away with, again, in this call too, the worst comparisons, the worst logic, and the worst reasoning possible. For free, and then you're saying you agree with it, and it's just like, no, don't do that. Like, he didn't even address Smack's analogy, he just called it crazy, and then he introduced one that's just fucking wrong, and then now we're agreeing with it. I don't get this. I genuinely don't get this, guys. Why are we letting him get away with this? Like, we're just letting him fucking riddle us. He's literally, instead of EO being crazy on tweets, it's Pokke being crazy on calls. He's just like performing the essential of like a fucking EO tweet on call. And it doesn't make sense. And I get that they don't want to argue, but it's just agreeing with him and saying that he's right when he's making weird fucking points like this that don't make sense, that fall apart when you poke it. Like, when you give it a light, gentle tap, and Pokke's point falls apart, but we're not even going so far as to give it a little tap. Like, we're just like tickling each other right now. Yeah. We're just tickling each other a little bit, having a giggle. It's just like, oh man. I see why people are saying that EO's getting power crept, because that's literally that's what's happening. EO's getting power crept by Pokke, and nobody is addressing it. I don't get it. Nobody is addressing it.
Right there. That's a great fucking rebuttal, by the way.
No, it's not. Oh my gosh. Oh, fuck, it's not. That was one of the worst rebuttals. He said your analogy was crazy, didn't give any reasons why, and then introduced one that was quite literally worse in every fucking way. No, that was an awful rebuttal. That was trash.
Thank you. Yeah, but the reason why I think that is like the main case is because I think majority, not all, I think majority of the players that are complaining about power creep, they are probably complaining because they can't clear the end game, which is
Yes. 1000%, yes.
why I don't see this like similar universe, this quality of life being their main focus. They probably put Acheron not just for SU, but it's mainly to get that 1 cycle, 2 cycle, feel powerful, deal a million damage, and that is like
That's
how
why
they
I
feel
do it.
good.
That's why I do it.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. So the reason why I say this is like more comparable to the iPhone is because technically you don't really need to get that. Like, it feels good, right? It feels good to 0 cycle, 1 cycle.
All right, so now we're saying the power creep is fine because you don't have to do the end game. Did he just say, well, most people are complaining about power creep because of the end game. Well, you just don't have to do it.
Especially
No, come on, he didn't say that. It's about 0 cycle, not beating it. Okay, let's see if he clarifies that.
the latest DPS, and they always make the latest DPS can clear the end game a lot easier, right? You need way less investment for new DPS compared to last time. Like, if you want to try Scylla or like Jingyuan, you need a lot more compared to a new DPS. And that's, I feel like, how they implement this forward, because even though you don't really need this
Okay, so let's clarify what more investment means. Does more investment mean that you just need to grind more on your relics? Or does more investment mean that you need E2 supports with light cones?
0-1 cycle, I think a lot of people just get so used to the power of a new DPS when that's how it was like back then. But in reality, when you kind of like take away the memory of chaos buffs, take away the right elemental weaknesses for the enemies, that's when their true performance start to shine.
Yes.
And where they'll drop. they'll drop based on the environment, but the unit is still exactly the same. And if players come to the awareness that that's actually how the unit should be performing roughly, I think they would reduce a lot of these like problems associated with Powercreep, because then they will be less incentivized to chase the brand new toy and all that kind of stuff.
Let's just use the example that I used on Tectone yesterday, talking about how follow-up attacks, right? The follow-up attack team, Fart, has no synergy at all. It actually has anti-synergy with the current MOC blessing, and then still clears at the same rate as a dot team, which has amazing synergy with the MOC blessing. So the Fart team, which again is actually handicapped by the current blessing of Trotters dealing max HP damage, is at the same exact level as an AoE-based dot team, which naturally, with the Trotter spawning every cycle, should be doing better. And so, yes, we're actually in a situation where the Fart team in this MOC is literally worse in this meta and is still performing the same as power creeped characters. And so no, this isn't about pulling the new shiny DPS. It's about these fucking DPSs. Fei Zhao is like literally months old. Adventurine, Topaz, Robin, they're months old. But they made the game so broken with their multipliers and synergies with each other that they are still broken 5-6 months later. They're fucking broken 5 to 6 months later. While other characters who were released 4 months before them, 5 months before them, are trash. Complete trash. Because of how they've power scaled and power crept the game. That is the problem. It's not about pulling the new shiny DPS. It's about suddenly like being the fucking Oracle of Delphi and finding out that this DPS in particular, this archetype, is gonna be giga fucking broken. It's gonna be giga fucking broken, and then you just have to predict that that's gonna be the case. And guess what? If you invested in a fucking Fei Zhao team, well, guess what? You now have had 5 to 6 months of amazing performance. If you invested in Jing Liu or Blade, you had like 2 months of performance. And now the characters are dog shit and will be for the foreseeable future. And if the argument is suddenly, if you have this E0 Fart team that's doing completely fucking fine 6 months later because they power crept the roster, and you're making the argument that you need E2 S1 supports to make your Jing Liu or Blade usable, that's just stupid. That's not an argument. It's just stupid. It's not even about like zero cycling. It's just stupid.
Come to the awareness that that's actually how the unit should be performing roughly. I think
again, if the Fart team is clearing in 4 to 5 cycles with a buff that literally nerfs them in the MOC, they're performing even better at a baseline then.
I think they would reduce a lot of these
and that's the problem with the power creep.
Problems associated with Pokke, because then they will be less incentivized to chase the brand new toy and all that kind of stuff.
I think what you just explained though is that the devs design, I guess the environment is the word to put it, to always cater.
Yes.
But that
The
ties into power creep, I would say, because now you're just waiting on the environment to finally fit your team, and that's problematic. How long should I wait for Super Break to pass so I can finally start using my dot team so it could feel like it felt when I first got it?
Well, that's the thing. This whole argument about the environment changing and then the environment changing, making it fine, falls apart when, again, the Fart team or Super Break teams exceed and excel in content regardless of what the environment is, while other teams that you've invested in, other teams that you spent money on, have to wait like once in a blue fucking moon for their team comp to be playable. That is the problem, because you have power creeping additions like Super Break and Follow Up that work regardless of the blessing or the environment, while other teams don't. And so the idea is that like, oh, you weren't smart, you were greedy and stupid for not investing in Fart or not investing in Super Break. Yeah, we were just supposed to know that they were going to be insanely broken and insanely broken for fucking months.
Because I think that's it borderline scamming.
And guys, it's not even about zero cycling at this point. We saw what the fucking E0 Jing Liu team does. It sucks ass. It's fucking awful. It's so worthless, it's insane. E0 Jing Liu on second side against the Swarm, just don't even play it. Unless you have like E2 S1 supports, don't do it. It's not a good idea.
Mish. It feels maximum power when you promote it to me, but then for the next 5 months, I'm in this Super Break format. Nobody's weak to lightning. I have the dot cop, and I'm getting through it. Sure, I'm completing it as you said and getting all rewards, but it doesn't feel good. My experience declined.
It doesn't feel good.
That's a pay to. That is so. When you think about it, Pokke, our job as gamers is to have fun, and their job as developers to ensure that we're maximizing the fun of our consumers. They are maximizing the fun of the consumer. Furthermore, they're shitting on our dollar at that point too.
Yeah.
Because at what point
HSR has gotten so unfun because it's not even about getting fucked on relics anymore. It's not even about getting fucked on like RNG and like in like the actual fights. It's about getting fucked on whether or not you're able to predict that a character is going to have longevity. Guess what? I still haven't seen Pokke talk about Sparkle a single fucking time. It's like he's pretending the character doesn't exist.
or you and maybe you can answer this for me. Actually, before I asked that, I just had an analogy pop into my head because I saw you make this argument and many other people who are rebuttaling it or advocating this. I saw this argument a lot. You clearing all the content of the game. Why are you complaining? If I used to play basketball, played in college. If I fucking
They didn't talk about Sparkle at all during this call. Again, I'll say it once again. If there is no mention of Sparkle and Sunday in this conversation, I do think that that simply has to be disingenuous to be dodging the topic like that. It has to be disingenuous to dodge the topic like that. Because it has to be one of the worst examples of power creep that has happened in the past fucking 3 or 4 months. It is so disgustingly bad. Not talking about it is like, it's disingenuous.
get through every single game in the season, I complete every single game, and then coach says, "Good job, you completed every single game." And I go, "Yeah, coach, but I'm fucking aching. My Achilles hurts, my knee hurts, and my back hurts because we have no fucking infrastructure in terms of physical therapy and rehabilitation to ensure that I'm performing at the optimal performance. These games hurt to play." And he's like, "So who cares? You still completed the whole season." You know what I'm saying? It's like he's basically not acknowledging the suffering I'm feeling because he doesn't want to give me the tools needed to be at maximum performance. That is the problem, I would say, that why people keep pushing back on you, because you're not acknowledging that their experience and the fun that they had is declining now, and it's not as fun as it was when they.
Hey, how many people own E2 S1 Sparkle? Do you think any of those owners had fun? Do you think any person who has E2 S1 Sparkle had fun when Sunday was released? Who had an E2 S1 Sparkle and they had fun after Sunday got released? Anybody? It made me really sad. I quit. I have an E2 S1 Sparkle. She generally never got a use. Sunday is just miles better. And so one of Pokke's big arguments about longevity is like pulling E2 S1 supports because they make all your other characters on the roster stronger. Doesn't that just fucking fall apart when you pull an E2 S1 support and they're just gonna get fucking power crept as well by an E0 support? So like even the fucking supports, like his get out of jail free card in all of these arguments, it doesn't fucking apply either. And that's why I think him dodging the Sunday Sparkle topic on every single call makes it so disingenuous. Because he always falls back on like that like trap card where it's just, oh, if you just keep pulling on the supports, right, they'll be able to uplift the rest of the team. And it's just like, well, guess what? People did that with Sparkle, and now Sunday is just literally better in every way. And so it's like, what is the discussion here? It's like the supports aren't safe either. And so when do you pull better if even the supports aren't safe?
Very first started out, but essentially they're playing with injuries because of this fucking power creep cadence to the end game format.
When is it okay to pull on a DPS? Well, guess what? Fei Zhao was one of the best pulls in the game. You just had to guess, and you just had to guess that she was. At this point, if you pulled on her, congrats, you won the lottery, because she's just good for months. She's just good for months. Incredible longevity, just for who knows why. But guess what? If you pulled on Jing Liu, go fuck yourself. If you pulled on Blade, if you pulled on Jing Liu, go fuck yourself. That's really just what it is. Pull on the right DPS or just go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I 100% agree. You technically cleared it, but at what cost?
At what cost?
Yeah, I get you. I get
Some
you.
people like that though. See, it never applies to everyone, because some people are like, Volk loves that shit. He's like, hell yeah, I still cleared it though, motherfucker.
My counterpoint to that would be, not all, but I think some of the people that are, I wouldn't say they're like super sweaty, but they still want to try clearing the end game. They would feel that their old teams perform worse, but I do think that it might be okay. I don't know how to word it other than skill issue, because
He just said skill issue in a turn-based game. Wow. I really want to see how he expands on this. How is it skill issue in a turn-based game?
I've made this other tweet where I kind of asked some of the people in the community to kind of post their
It
teams
is a
that they
skill
use
issue,
to clear.
Pokke. You don't have to defend that. I already know where you're going.
Yeah,
with that.
and I noticed that a lot of these people that complain, they are running like legit like horrible teams. It's either or like really just super bad. Like I'm talking like level 6 talents, level 70, or
Aventurine with Blade.
Hey guys, was my Jing Liu team bad? Was my Jing Liu team with like max talents on the important abilities? And like max Robin, it was really good, right? Really highly invested in, literally perfect rolls on the relics and signatures on my DPS. Oh, was that good? Was that good performance or was that complete dog shit? It performed like complete dog shit. I got too greedy rolling on Jing Liu. That was a skill issue for sure, yeah. Yeah, having 9 out of 10 as the lowest talent level. And then just getting fucking obliterated in the MOC. Not even getting close to a clear. Against an Ice Week enemy. Not even close to a clear. Hey, but surely 15% more critical damage on my relics would have helped when the boss still had its second HP bar by the time we died. The boss still had its second HP bar by the time we died.
it's so bad.
The team I used was Robin, Luocha, Jing Liu, and Bronya. And guess what? Perfectly speed-tuned Jing Liu and Bronya, where she's getting double turns.
Yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of a common ground here because people that are aware of the meta and they are aware of how it shifts, they probably would be doing everything in their power to kind of make things work. And they might not be the ones that are complaining the most.
You guys remember the Blade team? You guys remember the Blade team? E2 Blade with Light Cone, Luocha, E1 Ron Mei, Bronya, perfectly speed-tuned, 136 speed Blade, 134 Bronya for maximum turns, died. It did so little damage, it died in the MOC. E2 Blade with Light Cone. Oh, you're right. I should have known he was going to be trash.
The most, they are usually the casuals. They're kind of like in the middle of nowhere. They are kind of between.
Oh, and you wanna know what the funniest thing is? We had our Fug You with level 6 talents and our Firefly, which build, I don't even fucking know her build. It was just random shit on my Firefly. At level 70 Gallagher, and we just autoed it. Literally just went in, pressed auto, boom, all the enemies are dead. Level 0 orb, not even a break effect substat on it. And it just autoed it, and it blew everything up.
Marvel chasers, but they also kind of want everything, which is kind of like the main target audience I'm addressing, which is you can't have your cake and eat it at the same time. You can't just expect to be casual. You want to prove everything rifle, and you don't care about meta, you don't care about team building, but you still want to clear 3 stars with like what limited knowledge you have. Is like the comparison is, I'm gonna say Wuthering Waves as power creep when I don't really know how the rotations, or like Genji as power creep, right? But I know there are a lot of ways.
Well, this is the thing. I have the best in slot team. Or not even the best in slot. I have the best in slot for what I have. I have maxed out talents, and it's just not fucking clearing because the game has been power crept so much that the older characters simply cannot keep up without the equivalent of a fucking steroid shot on their team via an E2 support, an E2 S1 support. It's like making the argument that you need an E2 S1 support to clear and that makes it okay, just invest better is stupid.
Yeah, a lot of ways that you can improve. So far, majority of it, the complaints are coming from these players.
Yes, let's just generalize the argument. Let's just ignore the fact that Jing Liu at E0 S1 is not going to be able to clear, regardless of what you fucking have. That E2 S1 Blade can't fucking clear, regardless of what you even with a fucking E1 Ron Mei, E2 S1 Blade couldn't clear. And yeah, let's just say these guys have no fucking idea how to play the game. Yeah, in a turn-based fucking game, where you have 3 buttons that you could possibly press at any point in time.
Yeah.
The meta
boy. Oh, yes. Let's call it skill issue.
Players, on the other hand, because they wouldn't have an issue and they understand how this thing moves on, I don't think they will be the ones complaining about power creep as much because they know what tools to utilize to make their team work, or at least not.
Yes, I know what the tool is. It's a fucking E2 S1 support. Yes, let me just go pull that. So I can make my DPS that's not even a year old work, or my DPS that's like 1.5 years old work.
As much until if they are smart, they would save these pools, because every single time you pull a unit is another pool that could be spent on like your idolants or like another unit. So you know that even if they were to suffer now, it's okay as long as they can get by, and then the next time it comes out, oh, I'm gonna be great again. So yeah.
And then to
Or you just play the broken fucking characters who work regardless. You just play Firefly and Rappa and Super Break. Or you just play the Fei Zhao follow-up team and you just laugh all the time because any time is a good time to play those teams.
Advocate what you just said too. There's a meaning to suffering inside of video games. Like the RNG, you don't always get your fucking legendary in Path of Exile. But when you get that legendary, it makes it all the more meaningful. Suffering is essential. Vayne, early game, sucks fucking balls, but that's a suffer that's going to pay off in the end game. I think all of that advocates what you just said. And you know what, Pokke, well fucking done there. I have no, rebuttal for that. In fact,
This is highway robbery. This is highway robbery. We're just letting him talk circles around us. The actual Riddler. We can call EO the Riddler. We can call EO the Riddler for fucking writing tweets. Pokke is actually the Riddler in person. He's literally the Riddler in person. He talks in riddles. Oh, fuck me.
in fact, I support that.
Thank you.
But a lot of the times, Pokke, like I said, a majority of the shit, I agreed with you. My only thing was I don't like corporate slurp glurp. And no, you're not doing it, but it came off that way. And that was my biggest.
But he is doing the corporate slurp glorp. He 1000% is doing the corporate slurp glorp. Why are we still not talking about why have we still not mentioned Smack not Smack? Why have we still not mentioned Sunday and Sparkle yet? Why do we not mention those two characters on a single call? Are we that afraid to begin the discussion here about Sunday and Sparkle?
Problem with that tweet, it was like, bros, there's no accountability on the dev, which I told you. I said as long as he puts that part, me and Pokke are on the same page. I completely I acknowledge your intelligence. I acknowledge that you're somebody who's capable of critical thought. So I never.
First time chatter here. He's hanging on by a thread because in a gacha game, the longevity of your characters nets you a certain amount of pulls for future characters. Right now, I don't need to pull any banners with Acheron and Firefly for as long as I want. LOL. But that's the thing, man. Hey, just pull. Exactly. That's the argument, right? Just pull better. Just predict that Acheron and Firefly are going to be useful years from now. Or a year from now, when every other DPS or most other DPSs are just complete dog shit, worthless, not even worth talking about, right? Just pull better and guess better that the characters are gonna have longevity, and so you can have a good pulling experience. Otherwise, imagine being one of the dumbasses. Imagine being one of the dumbasses that pulled Argenti. Go fuck yourself. One of the dumbasses who pulled Jinglu. Go fuck yourself. One of the dumbasses who pulled Blade. Just go fuck yourself. Hey, you pulled Acheron? Good job. You pulled Firefly? Good job. You pulled Rappa? Good job. Anybody else? Oh, you pulled Fei Zhao? Good job. Anybody else? Go fuck yourself.
For once thought that you were over
You
here
pulled
just saying
Sparkle?
nothing
Go
but
fuck yourself
dumbass
too.
shit. I do have a question for you though. Do you think power creep is necessary for them to sell the characters?
I think it's not, but I would say it's very, very heavily incentivized to do so. And not just for Honkai Star Rail, but for like every single gacha game.
So here's what I have an immediate reference point for that. And you didn't play Genshin Impact on launch, did you?
Nah, I didn't. I just started like this year.
If you pull a character for the sole purpose of clearing endgame content, realistically, you have to pull more than one. You are never ever going to make back the gems you invest in getting that one character. False. You wanna know why? If you pulled Acheron and Firefly, you can now you've been able to clear endgame content for the past 7 months without pulling another unit. What the fuck are you saying? If you pulled Fei Zhao and Firefly, you can now clear endgame content until the end of fucking time. You don't need to pull another unit. You pulled Argenti, Blade, Jing Liu, you have to pull another unit to clear the endgame. What the fuck are you saying? It's literally just predict that the character is going to be ass broken in every format. And if they aren't, go fuck yourself. Hard disagree. Why? Or are you just going to say hard disagree without any actual reason? It's not even zero cycling, it's getting 3 stars. Are we just going to pull a Pokke here? Are we just going to pull a Pokke here? Say that it's crazy and then immediately pivot? Why do you disagree with this? Or are we just going to pull a Pokke? Hard disagree, and then switch the topic to something else. Because that's what he did for fucking Smack's analogy. That was crazy. Doing that to Smack's analogy and then introducing your own that's like just wrong, that's crazy. If each month has 3 cycles of endgame, if you get 80 per cycle, then it's about 200. Oh my god, this guy's like fucking. Okay, so you're gonna be pedantic about fucking math. You're gonna be pedantic about fucking math. Alright, cool, dude. Literally nobody gives a fuck about what you just said. Bro's like getting into the fucking individual jade counting.
I mean, like, oh, well, technically, well, the time span that you indicated, it's actually not the number of...
Just shut up. Jesus Christ.
Last year March, yeah.
for
The fuck?
I'll be honest, don't quote me on this, but definitely for about 2 years.
Holy
The
shit.
strongest meta team in the game was 3-4 stars. Bennett, Shangling, and Xingqiu. These motherfuckers were so strong, and I'm not talking about like a little bit under. No, they ran the goddamn meta, and this took off an immense amount of pressure for meta players to feel like they had to always pull the newest unit. They are all day one units.
Exactly. Do you ever feel any pressure at all? Did anybody feel any pressure to pull for fucking Chiori just because the Abyss buff benefited her? Was there any person that felt the need to pull for fucking Chiori because the Abyss buff was good for her? Was there any pressure to pull for fucking Siege Win for Ryodsley? No, there wasn't. Because the power creep in Genshin is actually pretty fucking good. If anything, Genshin characters, they release and they're literally worse than others. Genshin characters release, new limited 5 stars in Genshin Impact released, and they're literally worse than older members of the roster. They do that all the fucking time. It's actually nuts. I actually don't know how they get away with it. And so clearly, if Genshin's able to release characters that are fucking actually worse than older ones that they released, and they're still selling them, clearly, you don't have to make Honkai Star Rail characters so fucking broken each time they release, because Hoyo has literally already cracked the fucking code where they sell characters who are actually worse than the previous ones. So why does Honkai Star Rail need to make them so much more obnoxiously stronger, and even like make blessings that are obnoxiously stronger as well, right? Oh, we talked about the environment being okay. Why the fuck does nobody ever need to pull the on-banner Genshin character to clear the tower? Or only use characters that align with the environment of the blessing?
Too. And that something like that goes to show you that power creep isn't actually necessary to sell characters. Because
Yep, exactly. Power creep is not necessary to sell the fucking characters because Genshin does reverse power creep. The new characters are literally fucking worse than the old ones, and they still sell them.
people still ended up pulling on every motherfucking character after that.
Yep.
And then finally, Kuki Shinobu came out with Sumeru. Bitch was, she was forgotten tier. And then she aged and became meta, another 4-star character. I think this is like the best way for me to show that power creep isn't actually necessary to sell the characters. But I do, on the other end of the spectrum, agree that it will absolutely get the job done. And I think that's my biggest problem with HSR. There's no budget meta team. If there are, Pokke, you let me know, because these days my ass hasn't been locked in as much as I normally am. So, but there's no real budget meta team that you could say that lasted longer than 2 months. Or hell, 3 months. It just, they keep fucking throwing them out. Would you have anything to say towards that?
Yeah, absolutely. Budget meta team Super Break.
Just pull better. Just pull better, guys. You should have known that Super Break was going to be fucking broken. Hey, and if you didn't pull Super Break, you're a dumbass. You're stupid and greedy. You're stupid and greedy for not predicting that Firefly was going to be good for the rest of time.
Very free Harmony, Trailblazer, Gallagher.
Say it again,
Everybody
say it
has
again.
run
I'm
made.
sorry, say it again.
Super Break.
Okay,
right?
Super Break.
Harmony MC, yeah, then Gallagher, which is like technically free. Then like everybody has run made, and they just run one of the 3 Super Break. It's like super budget. It is the rank 1 team in Honkai Star Rail for like every single server. Everyone is Super Break because like it's just that broken. I think this is a pretty free fraternity. Okay, but I have a.
But that wasn't day one.
Yeah,
though, but sure.
Okay, yeah, true. It's not day 1. Yeah, it's true. It's not day 1.
Yeah, guess what? You just have to pull the limited characters. Yeah. If you skipped Firefly, go fuck yourself. If you skipped Rappa, go fuck yourself. Skipped Ron May, you know what's gonna happen. Go fuck yourself.
But I have a very, very good rebuttal to this because I also thought about this, right? The reason why I think power creep is more intertwined in Honkai Star Rail system is because games like Genshin Impact, as well as like even like Wuthering Waves or even Xenozone Zero, they have a lot more things to do in the combat itself. You can dodge, you can parry, you can like Kara cancel, you can negative edge. You can do a lot of things to prevent
Skill expression.
taking damage. Yeah, exactly, skill expression. But in Honkai Star Rail, you basically have 4 buttons. Technically,
Okay, so the game having 4 buttons means that, okay, let's see how this weaves into power creep.
3 and then a talent. And then something like that. You really can't do too much within the actual combat. Maybe some speed tuning here and there. Maybe you want to use your skill on this guy or the other guy. But generally speaking, once you set this team, that is like it. So for I feel like for Honkai Star Rail, the way they express, which could also be a reason why they made the speed of banners so quickly, is that team building is basically the only thing they can do to change like the meta.
Team building is the only thing they can do to change the meta, like every turn-based game. True.
Because
And
you can't
enemies, and
really.
enemies.
Yeah, okay, yeah, and enemies, which is I thought about it. I think the environment is the biggest reason why they introduced Powercreep. But yeah, so that's why I think in Honkai Star Rail, team building is like so intertwined with this mechanic of the game that to introduce new characters would be like the most direct way of like making things fresh, changing the meta.
Let me retract my statement. Team building isn't the only thing. They could simply have new and unique enemy designs. They could simply have, like again, he mentioned the environment as well, like all the different buffs that they have. What if the buffs just weren't so obnoxiously fucking strong or so obnoxiously ham-fisted that you have to like right now you have to interact with the buffs in this MOC to have any chance of clearing. And so if your character is a destruction, and guess what? Svarog and the Swarm spawn mobs, go fuck yourself, right? Have AoE. Have AoE or insane single target, or go fuck yourself in this MOC. And it's like, okay, well now we're making it so that the environment requires specific characters to clear that you just like might not have and that are like on banner, and it's just like, what do? You just pull.
Keep players fun, introduce new mechanics. But because this is so intertwined with actually getting that unit, it is a little bit inevitable that there will be greater degrees of power creep compared to all these other games with more skill expression. Yeah.
You want to know what they could have just done instead? They could have made it so that, you know, all characters were roughly at the same strength as Jing Liu. They could have made it so that all characters were roughly the same strength as Jing Liu, right? And then never really increase the power level from there, but then change the way that the teams do damage. But instead, they just decided to make characters that do more fucking damage, and then scaled up all the content to require that higher damage to clear. And so that would have made team building would have still been a fresh thing over here, right? But now it's like, okay, maybe I'll do fire damage instead. Maybe instead of ice damage with Jing Liu in destruction, we get super max Yan Qing, right? We get super max Yan Qing that does like Jing Liu's damage, but only to a single target. And so the damage is the same. The damage is the same, but the way it's dealt is different, right? That's what Genshin Impact does. They keep the damage levels of the characters the same, except for like fucking Mavuika and Silali, I guess, so maybe they're starting power creep there. They could have kept the damage the same like they do for every fucking Genshin Impact 5-star main DPS that releases. Their team damages are like roughly equivalent. New Valette doesn't even do more damage than other characters. It's just easier to deal damage with him. He has like the same DPS as like other main DPS characters in Genshin. It's just New Valette has like a way bigger AoE and is way easier to use. But it's like, no, in Honkai, suddenly it's like power creep is okay because the team building is different. But I don't understand why he's not talking about the part where the new characters just fucking deal more damage. Did they have to deal more damage? The answer is no. They just do because the devs decided to make them all do more damage. The devs just decided that the new characters should deal more damage, and then scaled up all the content in the game to suit that new damage, and then fucked over every other older character. And that's literally it. That's it. It's just, I don't know why we're not talking about this. Like, we talked about team building, we talked about it, and the team building part is correct, right? Team building is one of the only ways to differentiate in this game, but why is it that all the new teams just deal more damage? Why couldn't the damage increase have been way smaller, or actually not there like it is in Genshin Impact? Why do all of the new teams have to deal more damage? And why does the new content have to be scaled around that damage and leave all the older units and teams behind? Why does he not talk about that? Why is this, how is this a perfect rebuttal? But we're not talking about literally the elephant in the room. And if Smack doesn't talk about the new teams just dealing more damage, this is another incredible, massive, ridiculous fumble on his end. This is another ridiculous fumble on his end if he doesn't talk about the new teams doing more damage.
I think that's fair, and this rebuttal isn't a disagreement. My only thing is, it always goes back to turn-based is the heart of turn-based is strategy. It's strategy based. And so like, yeah, you can't do all this different skill expression, but you can design, and dude, this requires 5-head thinking of developers that I'm just not capable of. You can design enemies and units that you're creating in real time in a way where they respond to the strict strategies. Octopath Traveler, have you played that Pokke before?
No, never.
Okay, I'm a turn-based fucking fanatic. So it's like, if you get to the end game of Octopath Traveler, there's a lot of things that start to take place inside of that game that make you appreciate the beauty of turn-based gaming. And I feel like HSR, here's where it starts to clash. HSR is just so casual centric that if it were to really inject strategy into the game, it would probably turn away from the casual players. And so that's why I said I can't really rebuttal against you, because that actually doesn't allow me to say put more strategy into the game. Well, then these niggas are cooked because they can't even fucking play it the way it
They'll
is
be
right
even
now.
more cooked. There's only 3 buttons and people are having like problems clearing it. So like imagine they have like 5 buttons, 6 buttons, it's over, man. There'll be even more. Bro,
All right, now we're calling the players stupid because, okay, so guys, I guess I'm now stupid because HSR only has 3 buttons and I cannot clear with the Jing Liu team. Clearly, me not being able to clear with the Jing Liu team is just a skill issue. And the game only has 3 buttons, so I must be exceptionally dumb because I can't clear. I must be exceptionally stupid. And every other E0S1 Jing Liu owner is also really fucking stupid. Every E2S1 Blade owner, you should go get yourself checked into a mental institution because you can't clear with only 3 buttons.
I think there'll be even more power creep because they introduce all these different mechanics and then they just keep making the units even stronger where you can just ignore all these mechanics and there's even more power creep. So like,
Yeah, I think that's completely fair. Would you say though, where do we draw the line of power creep tempo? And what I mean by that is how fast it is occurring. Where do we draw the line there?
The line should have been drawn way back in the fucking day. Because guess what? You want to know what the damage comparison was? Or like the damage increase from Jing Liu, or from like Blade to Jing Liu? It was like minimal at best. And the damage increase shouldn't have gone much higher than there, right? The damage increase should not have gone much higher than there. Even Jing Liu to Dill, Dong Hung, Imbibitor Lune, that wasn't that much. And then the devs just decided to fucking release Acheron. And they just fucked themselves in the ass. Because they were like, oh boy, guess we gotta make these characters just do way more fucking damage for no reason. Jaquito. This is the difference with Dill. Bro needed skill points to do that damage. Much like how Jinsei needs coordinated attacks to deal that damage, Jing Liu and Dill had similar damage per skill point, right? And that's the thing. You needed to do some weird shit in gameplay when Dill was released for him to work properly. You had to run some weird fucking teams and some weird rotations in your teams of like who was using skills and who wasn't. And that's the thing, right? That was like a fair damage increase for a cost. And now you just play Acheron or Firefly, just shit on your keyboard and just go destroy content. You play the Fei Zhao team, you attack with 1 person, and then 17 other attacks come out at the same time.
oh yeah, I'm gonna sound crazy, but actually,
And Smack doesn't talk about the fucking pacing of damage. I'm just like, why are we not just talking about how rapidly the damage increased the second that 2.0 started? Why do we just not talk about that? Like, why are we saying that the power creep is okay when Blade wasn't power crept by Jing Liu wasn't power crept by Dan Hung, and so suddenly now we have all this fucking power creep in 2.0, and then suddenly it's okay, even though team building was still an element when Dan Hung, Jing Liu, and Blade were released? There was not really power creep back with like back from like 1.2 to 1.4. But then suddenly, now that there's power creep after 2.0, it's like okay because of team building? This is what I'm fucking saying. How are we saying that what Pokke is saying makes sense? How are we agreeing with him here? I don't get it. There's literally examples of how team building was an element in the early patches of the game. It's just that every new character released wasn't doing a fuck ton more damage than the last. That's literally it. Just every new character released in 2.0 just does a fuck ton more damage than the other ones.
don't think power creep is that bad in Honkai Star Rail yet.
I'm sorry. What? What the fuck did I just hear?
What I mean by that is how fast it is occurring. Where do we draw the line there?
oh yeah, I'm gonna sound crazy, but I actually don't think power creep is that bad in Honkai Star Rail yet.
I should have waited until I heard this to take a break. Now I need another one. Oh my fucking god, what did I just hear?
Yeah.
And the reason why I say this is because so far, okay, from the latest like MOC data and all the clears, I'm just talking about like end game clears. So far, every single DPS, now I'm not talking about support sustains because they're pretty universal, but so far every single DPS have been able to essentially get 3 stars, and that's a benchmark. But of course, your point is it feels bad.
Yeah.
So feeling bad is definitely something that you either solve it with money or you solve it by
Yeah.
What do you mean every DP... What? What do you mean every DPS can get 3-star clears? I literally just got mollywopped Playing fucking E2 Blade and E1 Ron Mei. What? And then E0S1 Jing Liu got murdered. What? What?
You know,
Yeah,
it's that
by
kind of, it is
design.
what it
It's
is.
by design, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that the way it is right now, they have introduced not just stronger units, but also a lot of new team comps for the past 2 years. If we start off with Crit, and then we have Super Break, we have DOT, we have Follow Up, and then now they introduced a little bit of counters from like Yun Li, and then now they are moving from the stacks from Aircraft and Facial to more energy regeneration from like Sunday. And then version 3 is gonna introduce a whole new thing, which is like the summon meta. But every single time they introduce these new things, the old things are still relevant. Like your crit teams, your follow-up team, your DOT team, it might not be as crazy because you know the environment is not as favorable for them maybe, or the evolution path. But because they're still technically usable, I think it's not that bad yet.
I guess we're gonna have to try it again today. I think we're gonna have to try it again today, folks. We're gonna have to try it again today, folks.
I feel like Honkai Star Rail's Power Creep is gonna be a pretty bad state when it actually reached a point where not just a single unit, but a whole category of like DPS class is completely unusable.
They already are. They literally already are. What are you talking about? Why are we just hand waving it like it doesn't exist when when literally the situation that you're describing has already happened and is currently the state of the game? It's literally the situation where you're describing where power creep is bad. It is already in the game. It has happened already. It is in the game right now. The exact situation where power creep is bad, that is the current state.
So if one day, like let's just say like crit DPS just like completely doesn't work, like all your Jing Lius, your Blade, your Scylla, they just really just not even like 3-star, but like trying extremely hard to 3-star, where like the brand new archetypes are gonna make it very easy. I think that's gonna be a problem. But for now, not yet. But that's what I feel though. That's what I feel.
I think that's fair, but here's what I will say, Pokke. The beautiful thing about a gacha game is the longer it's out, the better it gets for people who get into it. And what you just presented was, sure, somebody who gets into HSR today, they're in a way better position than the veteran players.
True, based and true. It is probably better to roll a new account. It's probably better to roll a new account, abandon your old one, drag your balls over glass shards and Penacony all over again, and just pull on the new banner characters. 1000% yes, based and true. Based and true. Yep, it's probably better to start a new account, re-roll a new one, than play the dogshit old one if you have busted, not busted, useless fucking characters like Jing Liu, Blade, all that garbage on your roster. Just fuck it, make a new account. It's better.
Me, I'm more so speaking about the veterans because we got fucked. I have way more choices, way more resources to make the decision. But the veteran player with no roadmap, he got fucked along the way, you know? He walked so that these people today could run. So they can go look at guides, they can go look at all kind of stuff. And this was the hindsight argument you were making in your video where I was like, brother, we didn't have that Oracle ball, you know?
Okay. I have the perfect rebuttal. Okay, I swear I didn't plan for this, but I really think through a lot before I started this video. Yeah, I really like sat down, like typed up a script, everything.
Go ahead.
Okay, the reason why I feel this is it might not be that bad is because for all the old veterans that started the game day one, when they're actually playing the game, back then when they put Scylla, when they put Jing, and when they put Silver Wolf, those units, their value back then, it was valuable for their account, right?
Yeah.
People did have fun pulling for
In
Scylla.
that context.
They had fun playing Silver Wolf. Yeah, back then. So given the context of, let's just say you give the veteran a crystal ball, right? Let's just say the veteran is Bob, right?
So
he can fucking see all the way through 3.0. But he started at 1.0 though.
Yeah.
I feel that if, even with the crystal side, his enjoyment for the game would still be very bad if he just decided to save everything all the way through like Akron, all the way to Super Break, because there's like multiple months of just not pulling. And I think that would drastically reduce his enjoyment, even though he's technically more efficient, he's more meta, but at what cost though? So that's why I feel like this hindsight thing, no matter at what point you start in Honkai Star Rail, you started back then, it was fun back then. If you start Honkai Star Rail now, it's gonna be fun now. And this will always happen when at any point of time you start a game, it's gonna be fun, and then the new thing is gonna come out and the cycle will always repeat itself.
No, that's not true. Because you literally have games like Genshin Impact, where teams like Raiden National, where teams like fucking Child National, Tartaglia National, a team from fucking the first version of the game, still works at endgame content and clears pretty fucking fast. There's literally Hoyoverse games that literally still have like 1.0 teams that are fine. And they're great. They still clear. You do a fuck ton of damage with them. You don't feel bad playing them. You don't feel like you have to min-max and get like multiple sequence nodes or like eidolons or fucking constellations to clear. And then now it's like all the teams, they didn't really raise the damage ceiling excessively. And so now we're talking about it being in Honkai where it's like, it's as long as you had fun in the moment, who cares if the characters are dog shit now? Hey, you had a good time before everything got power creep, so the power creep isn't that bad.
No, but so my thing, Pokke, is back then, my scenario made more sense for that. If you literally decided that you wanted to play dot, you had to wait for whenever that would arrive. And so what's a good time period for me to access my dot team?
What do you mean access? Like use them in endgame?
When am I able to have a whole dot team? Like when should this be a thing? You can't really answer that, right?
Like when is dot team complete?
No, yeah. When is dot team complete? Exactly. There you go. When is dot team complete? Because it's been 20 months.
Yeah, we won't know, man.
You see what I'm saying though? But like today,
and it's just we don't even talk about it.
Today, if you get in HSR today, you already know. Oh, a Kafka, Black Swan. Oh, I know exactly to get those two. Oh, we're still waiting on the final unit. The guy back then who invested in dot, he's still waiting. Bro's like, he's still waiting today for the dot to be complete. That is a problem, Pokke, because it's like, I wanted to play dot. I'm fucked. I can't play dot. And I know that is the worst case scenario against your argument, but we can take the best case scenario too. In Biber de Lune, if you wanted to play Dragon Boy, and you wanted to E2 him, but you're a budget player, you're not E2ing him on release. It's just not happening. You don't know he's coming, and then when he comes, you've probably already picked up a Silver Wolf because of the context. The next time he gets ran, he's with Sparkle, his best in slot. So you can't E2 him right there too, because now you have to pick up the Sparkle with him, and then Sparkle has been presented as his best in slot. Basically, again, as we're going on this day-to-day thing, the little details in between, Pokke, really matter in terms of how they're fucking you over, of you being able as a veteran player to experience the game to its full content. You're never able to get the A team because you don't know what the hell's occurring and how it's occurring. Basically, and this jars into another thing. Why do you think nobody had a problem with Miyabi, Powercreep, and Ellen?
I think there was nothing to Powercreep because like the content's very easy.
No, that's not true at all. She power crept the shit out of Ellen. Her multipliers are higher. Yeah. What I mean is the reason nobody had a problem with it because everybody knew Miyabi was coming out before the game released. Everybody already knew.
Oh, that's fair, yeah.
That ice bitch was going to be stronger than Ellen. And to debut Ellen, we were rooting for it, actually. And then we were able to prepare for her when she came out. So it's like that roadmap was like, oh, yeah, I can't wait. We know it's coming, Pokke, but we don't know what's coming in HSR. In the Genshin Impact, the Archons of each region, you know there's an Archon in each region, so you can prepare to a degree. Nobody knew about no fucking emanators in HSR. It just kind of like, bloop, yeah, here you go. And then you're like,
I don't like this argument. I don't like it. I don't like it on both sides because A, the characters just don't need to be obsessively stronger than the past ones. It's like, I guess we're backing into the reasoning of like, A, I guess it's like okay for the characters to be like ridiculously fucking broken as long as it's just they don't need to be that broken in the first place. When an E6 Ellen does less damage than an E0 Miyabi, guys, that's a problem. It doesn't matter if you knew that it was coming. It's just, why is she that much stronger in the first place? Does she need to be that much stronger in the first place? Similarly, I don't think it's a problem that we didn't know that Acheron and Fei Zhao were coming. I don't think it's a problem that we didn't know that they were coming. It's just, why did their teams need to be that much fucking stronger than everything else? Why did Firefly Super Break need to be that much stronger than everything else? Why are we just not talking about the damage just being absurdly higher? Why don't we talk about that? Acheron is an emanator. So? She could be a little bit stronger. She doesn't need to be fucking ridiculously stronger. What the fuck? Just because they have some classification means that they need to be stronger than a fucking E6 version of a character? Huh? And here's this. Jinxi's the magistrate. Jinxi's the fucking magistrate of the region. The Archon of WuWa. She's not 200% stronger than other characters. She's the fucking sentinel. She resonates with the fucking sentinel, the god of the region. She doesn't do double the damage of other characters. And so you guys are like using lore as an argument for like the fucking team, the characters to just be broken. Why? What? They're stronger in lore, so it's fine if they're just better than everybody else. They can be better. Do they need to be this much better? Do they need to be this much stronger? Do they need to invalidate your past purchases this much? And the answer is no. You're now just like backing into this cringe fucking reasoning. I don't even know why. Silverwolf can hack reality and lore. Yeah, why doesn't she just one-shot the enemies then? Oh, well, she could do it in lore. She can literally make them disappear. It's just, what is this reasoning? Yes, we might know they're coming. We might not know they're coming. Why are they that strong in the first place? You don't have a reason for that.
Oh, okay, so they're doing the Emanator thing in here as well now, or the kind of the Archon thing. Basically what I'm trying to tell you is the blueprint and the roadmap of HSR is so non-existent, so obscured and in the dark. You can't really prepare. You're always running into the power creep problem. And like I said, it's a multifaceted problem that goes into power creep. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense because you're right. Like Genshin, they have the Archons. Yabi has been.
Remember, Gotcha Smack isn't really making an argument whether power creep is fine or not. He is making the argument that it isn't the player's fault for feeling the negative effects for power creep. You do realize that there are two people on the call, right? And you do realize that Pokke literally just said that power creep isn't a problem in Honkai Star Rail. That the power creep isn't that bad. Pokke literally said, Smack asked him if the power creep was bad, and Pokke said, no, it's actually fine. When it's the furthest thing from fine I could ever fucking possibly imagine. The power creep in the game is making it actually genuinely unplayable.
Been teased in the CBT, but Honkai Star is basically like what we see is what we get. Well, we got teased casters, but like, okay, I get exactly what you're saying.
Ruan Mei is like the only one that wasn't a fucking emanator, and the bitch was just broken for no goddamn reason. Robin, I would say too. Robin was just like a story lover, but again, nobody really knew she was gonna be broken. There's no way to know.
I feel like.
Why does it matter if we know that the characters are going to be broken? Why do they need to be so broken? Why do they need to be so much stronger than the previous characters released? They don't need to be. And yet we're saying it's okay now. We have a fucking lore reason. Doesn't matter. It's just they don't need to be geared that way in the first place, right? Tartaglia is a fucking... He's a fucking, what's it called? He's a fucking harbinger, right? He should just one-shot everything. He's one of the strongest warriors in the galaxy. Like, but he does it for a reason, because they don't want the game to be shittily balanced.
This might be a bit more tight to pulling for supports in Honkai Star. I feel like supports, they kind of are like the emulators.
Okay. Are we going to talk about Sparkle here? All right, I pray to God. Well, actually, I already know the answer to that. Not pre-watched, but everyone says he doesn't talk about Sparkle here. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's see how we dodge the Sparkle conversation here.
Yeah.
So, or no, I'm sorry. I
get the expression.
Yeah. So, I think a lot of players, especially casuals, they might not understand the significance of support. Because even if you have like a super strong DPS, it's kind of still bound by that support. So like Aircraft without Jiao Chuna is gonna feel a little bit sussy. Fei Xiao without Robin is gonna feel a little bit sussy. So I do think that not all, but a part of players, they
Are we not just... So we talked about Robin. We talked about Zhao Qi. We don't talk about Sparkle and Sunday. We're just going to dodge the Sparkle and Sunday conversation across 4 consecutive calls. We're just going to dodge that. We're just going to dodge that completely. Okay.
They might end up chasing DPS a bit too much because they kind of fail to understand the value of a support. Yeah, exactly. They kind of forgot that, oh wait, Fei Xiao is doing all that. Not really
because you already have an example of somebody pulling a support, and then the support immediately gets power crept in the same fucking year with Sparkle.
Because of Fei Xiao alone, but it's mainly because Robin just busts everything and ties everything together. The same thing is gonna happen for like Super Break. Fugue is like super good for Super Break, and if players don't pull Fugue and they play Super Break, I think they will regret in the future. Because they are looking for, they're gonna have summon, they're gonna have a new DPS again. I'm just gonna skip Fugue, who needs her? And I think this will keep happening. But to be fair though, I don't think a lot of players would know this as well.
No, you're right.
This will, only a small, not is small, but like if you only like super into the meta, then
And she is unplayable. I don't get it. She still has insane buffs. It's literally the idea that even if she's playable, she feels like shit because there's another character released less than a year later that's literally better than her in pretty much 95% of situations. And so, if you're constantly at the point where even your supports, the emanators of Honkai Star Rail, the true emanators, are still constantly getting power crept, how much better? He's apparently at E0S1. He's better than her E2S1. That's what people are saying. He's literally better. And guess what? He full action advances, the character gives skill points, and then also advances their summon too.
you will notice that, okay, I need supports. But since casuals are like the ones, at least most people, are the ones complaining of not being able to keep up, they probably wouldn't know like the importance of each banners.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, every single argument that we've had in this discussion so far is for so many niches. Like the arguments you have made that you've gotten a lot of pushback for, it applies to more people than not. You know what I mean? So like, it's not like everything you said was wrong. I'm just literally giving you more of a substance.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Pull me up. Okay, you have one sentence. You have one sentence, buddy. Actually, no, you have two. Right, however much you fucking want. What's wrong here? What's wrong here, buddy? You seem to be typing up a fucking storm, just repeating the same exact fucking thing. Like an actual fucking, like a less intelligent chat GPT. That's what you're typing like. He never said power creep is right. When? What? Are you claiming that I said he did? You do realize he said the power creep in the game is not that bad. You do realize he said that literally on this call, right? Pokke literally said the power creep in Honkai Star Rail is not that bad. He might have said that it can be controlled. He also said it's not that bad. What are you even trying to argue right now? Is there something wrong with you? What are you even trying to communicate right now? You're collectively lowering the IQ of everybody in this chat with every word you type, because I have no fucking clue what you're even trying to say. I don't think anybody has a clue what the fuck you're trying to say. What are you even trying to say? What are you even trying to prove wrong at this point? He's trying to say, what am I wrong about? Oh boy, I understand him. Okay, well clearly you two speak the same fucking language, and the language is called dumbass. The fact that you understand what he's saying isn't a flex. This is like a caveman speaking, and you're like, I get everything that he's saying. A literal fucking caveman. That's not the flex that you think it is. Pokke viewers are literally built different. Constructed alternatively. Yes. Yes, you're correct. You can control power creep. Simply by predicting in the future, somehow, through some means, that the characters that you pull are fucking broken. Yep, you can control power creep. You wanna know how? By magically figuring out that Acheron, Firefly, and Fei Zhao are gonna be future-proof. You can magically control power creep by figuring out that instead of pulling Sparkle, you should pull Robin instead, because she's just gonna be better in every single way. You should just know that. And if you do know that, yes, you can control power creep. Just know that each character you're pulling on is going to be strong. Yeah, just guess. Just pull better. That's how you can control power creep, 1000%. You wanna know how else you can control power creep? By not pulling on characters like Blade. Not pulling on characters like Jing Liu. Just don't pull those. Know that they're going to be outpaced, and then you'll control power creep because you didn't pull on them. Is that the fucking logic that you guys are trying to bring in? Because yes, that is the crux of Pokke's fucking argument. That yes, you can control power creep by just pulling on the good characters. But how do you know that the characters are going to be fucking good? Oh, you know what? Perhaps my first mistake was trying to reason with Pokke viewers who probably fail every standardized test in their country. Hey, Zero's chosen one. You wanna know what Pokke said in his Sparkle guide? Must pull unit. Extremely strong. Must have unit. He said she's broken. And then they proceed to release Sunday. You wanna know what they said about Jing Liu? Broken. Must have unit. Incredibly strong. Best self buffs in the game. You can clear 3 stars with her? Yeah, with what? With what investment on your supports? With what investment on your supports? How many Eidolons and light cones do you have on your supports to clear 3 stars with Jing Liu? E0S0. Proof? Oh, okay. Upload the clear in an hour or you're banned. Show the clear. Show the video. Show the video. Or you're banned. Hey, if you want to write fan fiction in chat, prove it's not fan fiction or you're banned. How about that? I'll leave you up on the screen. I'm leaving you up. I'm leaving your chat box on here. If it's not uploaded in an hour, you're banned. Show every single Eidolon, show every light code, show all the relics, or you're banned. Because you want to know what Pokke's characters are at? They're all at fucking E2S1 at minimum on all his fucking supports. And so why the fuck would I take any of his findings as accurate? So yes, bring proof that you can clear 3 stars with her at E0S0. Okay, banned. Bro wrote an essay talking about why he's not gonna do it. So he's banned. Why is he banned? Because he's making claims, writing fan fiction. I asked him to send proof. He's like, oh, I can't do that. So I banned him. Ban me too? Okay, let's keep going on with the video.
Sense to why these things were problems outside of the greed and stupidity. But if I had to put a percentage on it, yeah, I would say it's probably 10% and you're the greed and stupidity.
This is actually the funniest thing about this. It's fucking 4 a.m. and instead of going to sleep, this guy is running defense for a content creator who doesn't know who he is. Bro needs to go to college on a Saturday. Today is literally Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday, and bro needs to go to college. Likely because he's failing his fucking classes. Because this bro is staying up until 4 fucking a.m. to run defense for a CC who made shit takes. Bro's taking supplementary classes. He's about to be late for those as well because he's too busy running defense for Mr. Pokke. Get your fucking priorities straight. How dumb can you be? Literally defend CC instead of college. Literally this. Defend CC over passing your college classes. Literally more important than his degree, it's running defense for Mr. Pokke about his shit power creep takes. These are your chatters, dude. Pokke, these are your fucking chatters. This is how intelligent your chatters are. Bro quit his studies to learn how to calc damage in HSR. Bro probably quit his studies. To do fucking, to find out the super break calculation. He probably writing his college thesis on the super break calculation for damage.
You know what I mean? So like, it's not like everything you said was wrong. I'm just literally giving you more of a substance to why these things were problems outside of the greed and stupidity. But if I had to put a percentage on it, yeah, I would say it's probably 10% and you're the greed and stupidity part is 90%.
All right, what is this? Is this a fucking video? Let me see here. So we uploaded Jing Liu clear and it has Sunday on it. All right, summertime. I think it's time for you to be banned. You're really dumb. Oh yeah, check out this Jing Liu clear. Oh, I have the newest fucking character. I have the newest broken fucking character. Guys. Oh, look at this clear. And so basically, your defense of the power creep allegations is by using the newest support who is now the strongest in the game. And that is beating the power creep allegations by using the newest support who is the best in the game. Is this real? This can't be real, right? Is this the argument that we're bringing to the table? So our argument that Jing Liu is not power crept is by bringing in the newest support who does everything better than the prior ones to lift their dead body over the finish line and say it's not power creep. Oh, man. Okay, he said, I agree it's bad for a huge portion of players, just want to be fair. You want to know what would be an amazing clear? You showing me this team with a Sparkle or Bronya instead of Sunday. But I don't think there is a clear for that comp. I don't think you're gonna find a clear that uses Sparkle or Bronya without Sparkle being E2. Oh dear, guys. Oh fucking dear. We're really digging the bottom of the barrel for this one, aren't we? We're really digging at the bottom of the fucking barrel for these takes, aren't we? Show me a Jing Liu clear, maybe where you're not using fucking Sunday. How about that? Show me a Jing Liu clear where you're not using fucking Sunday. Fuck it, you'll get bonus points if they don't use Robin either. Oh fuck. How much longer is this conversation? Please tell me it's not much longer.
The niches, like the arguments you have made that you've gotten a lot of pushback for, it applies to more people than not. You know what I mean? So like, it's not like everything you said was wrong. I'm just literally giving you more of a substance to why these things were problems outside of the greed and stupidity. But if I had to put a percentage on it, yeah, I would say it's probably 10% and you're the greed and stupidity part is 90%. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, great. I'll take that W. We can end this call now.
Yeah, we can. I just wanted you to understand.
Crazy.
It's not that you're
crazy. Okay.
It's not that you're wrong. I tell you, I'm not here to make you look like an idiot. I want you to understand that not everybody can be applied to that. But the reality of it is their target audience is the greedy and stupid. That's who they're going for.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's also why I wanted to make the tweet, because I want these players to be a little bit more aware that they are actually getting targeted. But unfortunately, too many people are way too like emotional. They're too self-defensive. Like, nope, fuck you, Pokke, go fuck yourself. They refuse to acknowledge that I'm trying to save them.
Yeah, save yourself by pulling better, becoming the Oracle of fucking Delphi, and figuring out which units and archetypes are going to be ass broken for several months, and simply save for those banners. Don't pull for any of the bad characters, even though you don't actually know that the characters are going to be trash. And yeah, and also don't lose your 50-50s as well.
I'm quite legit trying to save them, but they don't get it. They want to keep blaming the company. It's the company's fault.
It literally is. Because we still haven't gone over the conversation of why damage rapidly increased from 2.0 onward. We're just glossing over it when damage was perfectly fine and managed perfectly across versions 1.0 to like 1.7. The damage scales up ridiculously starting with 2.0. And we're just glossing over the issue and pretending that that's like there's no actual reason for the damage to go that high. It did. But we're still not talking about it.
Companies, but in reality, it's a lot of them. They are getting played, right?
Okay.
They are getting played for the FOMO, and yeah.
You have brought so much awareness to this topic with your ability to stand on business and continue to talk about it. It's beautiful. It is. That's why I said you're a great guy.
Thank you. And oh my god, man, I feel so fucking vindicated about that. Like, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, it's important because most people don't have the balls. And most people will just crumble as soon as that pressure that hits you.
Well, this is the thing. Smack, you're talking about pressure. There's absolutely been no pressure going on over here. Bro has received more love taps. Like, it's literally all he's gotten are fucking love taps from every single person he's been on call with. Because you guys are just dodging every single actual issue with every single argument he's making. You're agreeing with analogies that don't fucking make sense. And we're saying that points are right when they're just not. And we're just letting him, again, I'll say it again, he's getting away with content creator terrorism for the past 3 or 4 fucking days.
They just crumble.
Yep.
They're like, oh, going back in my
Nah,
little
I'm
bubble.
an Eastern CC.
Yeah.
No, I'm East. I don't crumble. I got a fact. I know I'm right. You know, it's just a matter of time before people see it. So yeah.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, man, if you want to talk about more stuff, we can. But I think that pretty much wraps it up for me.
Yeah, I think this is great, man. I think I'm just gonna close this video. So y'all just made any closing. Thank you so much for the talk, by the way.
No,
it was really
absolutely.
insightful, yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for the help. Yeah, if the Tectone call was a disaster, this was another disaster. This is like, yeah, another disaster. This is basically the 9/11 of gacha gaming. The first tower was Tectone, Smack is the second.
You got the video upload. This shit's, I'm chilling.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So chat. All right. See you guys on YouTube.
This is my analysis of this call. Honestly, what a fucking misplay on every single side in every single context. You literally are just letting Pokke get away with making the worst points we've ever heard in gacha gaming. We're literally at the point where he's taking Smack's analogy, which makes perfect sense. Like, talking about like one new gadget releasing with just a bunch of new features, and then the next month another new one releases. Pokke just says, oh, that's crazy. Here's this other analogy instead. He doesn't say why it's crazy. He doesn't say what's wrong with Smack's analogy. He just says it's crazy, then gets into his own about the iPhone that's not equivalent at all and makes no fucking sense in context of the conversation. And then we're just, again, repeatedly letting him get away with comparisons and logic that is fucking awful every single time, repeatedly, over and over and over and over again. And we're not digging into any of the points that he's making. He's talking about how power creep isn't that bad, how every DPS can still clear, but the huge, gigantic fucking asterisk next to this idea that every DPS can clear is that you pull the newest support. And it's just like, what are we doing here at this point? When our counter to power creep existing is to pull the new character that power crept everybody else on the roster. If that is the argument against power creep, just pull the new power creeper and then your old characters can work, that's not a fucking solution. It's really not. And I can't believe it's happened 2 days in a row. Bro is literally just getting these softball fucking pitches, literally becoming the Riddler, the Giggler, the Shuffler online. Every viewer that's watching this, it's just like the Tectone call. They feel like their time has been fucking wasted because they're seeing this guy get away with content creator malpractice, content creator terrorism 2 days in a row. And the comment section of any video, right? Any VOD uploading this shit. Why is every single top upvoted comment basically just saying that Mr. Pokke is on crack? Why is every single one just saying that he's fucking wrong and has bad reasoning? Why is every single one saying that we're playing softball with him and we're being super soft? Because that's probably what's actually going on. That's probably actually genuinely what is going on. Worst takes. That was disappointing. Hypocritical on your side. We need Smack to debate him. Well, we just saw what fucking happened there, so maybe we don't have that happen. Oh, cannot listen to him at this point. And guys, I've got something even better.
This Twitter community is filled with people that, you know, constantly shit on me. Constantly. It is not his responsibility to get rid of them. Absolutely not, right? I have nothing but respect for them. It is his Discord, right? It is his Twitter, sorry, all that kind of stuff. Most of them probably don't follow him, and even if they do follow him, the fundamental truth is a lot of these players, they are just clueless, right? They're either clueless, they are not too bright, and they love Wuthering Waves. So they would shit on, you know, obviously me, because somehow I've been painted as like the equivalent of Tectone in Wuthering Waves. So they have a lot.
Just because people said you have a dog shit take does not suddenly mean that there's an agenda against you, that all WuWa players hate you. It is actually a majority Honkai Star Rail players that think your take is steaming shit. It's a majority HSR players that think your take is dog shit. By nature of, WuWa players would not fucking know what you are talking about because your tweet is entirely centered around Honkai Star Rail. And so if they only played WuWa and they didn't play HSR, they wouldn't have anything to get mad about because they don't even fucking know what you're talking about. I don't understand how that's not like just obvious. How is that not obvious? That the flame you're getting for your HSR take is from the HSR players. Isn't that fucking obvious? If I made a shit WuWa take, right? And people get mad at me for it, I'm not going to assume it's Genshin players or HSR players that are getting mad at me because they don't play the fucking game. So how would they know that my take is bad or worth flaming? It's just, I don't get it. I don't get it. You are literally creating demons here and fighting them live on stream. And now your stupid viewers are coming into my chat because I play WuWa and thinking I have some sort of agenda when I don't. I have literally just played HSR. Half my roster is fucking useless because I don't have Sunday. So my roster is like half my roster of DPSs are useless when they weren't 6 months ago because of Powercreep. I don't get it. This is just another act of content creator terrorism. Once again, that Pokke is just getting away with, that people are not calling out. One other thing I wanted to go over when it comes to Mr. Pokke, and this is from one of his older VODs.
Bro, I was literally there for the Santona stream yesterday night. Tectone got into a call and I was there. And I basically said,
True.
oh, you died? Oh, as in like, oh, your Kagura didn't have shield? Yeah, that's Powercreep. Oh, you didn't? Oh, that's Powercreep. Oh, you didn't have enough pools? Oh, that's Powercreep. Like, everything that happened, I just said, that is Powercreep. It's so funny. Like, I did just now, like, Box 2 was streaming. He was trying to clear with a level 70 blade. Now I'm like, ooh, that's Powercreep right there. You know, back in my days, level 70 blade could have cleared that shit. Yeah, that's Powercreep.
And we literally showed live yesterday that my E2 S1 blade with Ron May got ass fucked because I didn't have Sunday.
Yeah, and then bro, like purple relics now, nope, that's Powercreep, right? Oh shit, I failed. Oh, that's Powercreep. Oh shit, I lost all my money. Oh, that's Powercreep. You know, I should, you know, Powercreep. They should have. Yeah, it's just everything in life is Powercreep. It's fantastic, guys. I'm the brand new Powercreep guy. Santona's called me a hypocrite. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about Honkai Star Rail anyways. But
I guess I don't know what I'm talking about with Honkai Starbucks, guys.
I don't need to engage with Santona's for this because if
sounds like we're dodging. It sounds like we might be dodging the conversation, guys.
he wants to get into a call, I will cook him verbatim.
Pokke, if we got into a call to talk about power creep and HSR or power creep and gacha games, you will get destroyed. Because first and foremost, I'm not going to just sit there and let you refute points, but then not actually explain why. Half of the calls are you just saying that like something's right or wrong and then not actually diving into the reasoning. People are playing softball right now currently. I think you have way too much of like a bloated level of confidence because you've been having the easiest debates in gacha gaming. This is why I'm calling you a content creator terrorist at the moment, because there's a reason why every single public outlet is saying that you're on crack with all of your takes. Literally every single bit of public opinion that we've seen regarding this conversation is saying that you have shit takes. That you are literally EO. You are literally the Riddler. And so I think that you dodging any conversation with somebody that's not playing softball is only going to further perpetuate that image. I don't think that your current approach is actually working out right now. So we'll see what happens in the future, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just gonna be honest. This is how I'm gonna finish it off. Pokke is getting away with content creator malpractice right now. And he's done it for multiple days with multiple CCs and multiple conversations. And it's getting a little bit absurd in his words. Let me know what you all think. Peace out.